All right, so you've done everything right to protect your sensitive data. You scrubbed your prompt, you sent it off to the AI, but have you stopped to think about what happens when the AI sends its response back? That's the part of the process people often forget, and in this explainer, we're going to show you exactly how to securely close that loop.
So the AI does its thing and spits back a response. But it's just this jumble of abstract tokens. Things like name1 and email1. Sure, it's secure, but it's also completely useless. You can't actually do anything with it. So now what?
This is the exact puzzle you're left holding. The AI's response is perfectly sanitized, which is fantastic for security, right? It means none of your sensitive information was ever processed or stored by the AI provider. But you've just traded one problem for another. How do you turn this secure but totally abstract text back into something your team can actually use? This right here. This slide shows you that gap perfectly. On the left, you've got the AI's safe, tokenized response. And on the right, you have the actionable information you actually need. Getting from point A to point B is where most privacy tools completely fall apart, often by sending that data back to a server to get detokenized. Kind of defeats the purpose, doesn't it? There has to be a better way.
And well, there is a better way. It's PrivacyScrubber's Unmask feature. It's designed to close the security loop with a single click, happening right there on your machine, with absolutely zero network traffic. Let's see exactly how this instant restoration actually works. It really is this simple. You take the AI's entire response, you paste it into the Unmask window, and you hit one button. And bam! Instantly, with no loading or delay, all those tokens are replaced with the original, real-world data. The process is completely seamless, but that probably has you wondering, how is that even possible?
Well, the secret is that this entire operation has nothing to do with a server or the cloud or some external database. The magic, if you want to call it that, is happening 100% locally, using only the resources inside your web browser. This is the core of a zero-trust architecture in action. The core technology that enables this secure offline restoration is something called the session map. You can think of this as the engine that powers the entire unmasking process without ever exposing your data to the internet. So what exactly is a session map? Think of it like a temporary digital Rosetta Stone created just for you. When you first scrubbed your data, the tool created this map right in your browser's memory. It's a simple key that says, hey, this token equals John Smith. This map exists only for your current session, and it is the only key to reversing the process.
And the security of this session map is absolute. As you can see here, it's never written to your hard drive, local storage, or cookies. It is never transmitted anywhere. It's a ghost in the machine that holds the key, and the moment you close that browser tab, poof, it vanishes forever. This is what we mean by zero data at rest.
Now that all sounds great in theory, but in a zero-trust world, you shouldn't have to take our word for it. And you don't. You can actually prove this entire process is local with a simple, definitive test.
And this isn't just some party trick, it's a recognized audit procedure. As this quote from the 2026 Enterprise Security Brief says, the airplane mode test is considered verifiable proof of security. It's what gives Chief Information Security Officers, or CISOs, a defensible position for compliance.
And here's how you can run that audit for yourself. You load the page, you open your browser's developer tools to the network tab, and then you just completely disconnect from the internet. Enable airplane mode. Go ahead, scrub your data, and then unmask the AI's response. You'll see it works perfectly, and more importantly, that network tab will prove that zero data was ever sent.
So what does all this technical proof really mean for a business? Well, it translates directly into a zero-trust guarantee. And that has massive implications for risk, for liability, and for global compliance.
Let's just quickly break this down. Under a framework like GDPR, because your sensitive data is never transmitted, the AI provider never legally becomes a data processor. And this is huge, because it eliminates the need for all those complex and risky data processing agreements. For something like SOC 2, the in-memory process and the verifiable lack of outbound requests provide clear, irrefutable audit evidence for your confidentiality controls. So the key takeaway is really this. The entire round trip, from scrubbing your initial prompt to unmasking the final AI response, is a completely closed loop. It is 100% serverless, and it happens entirely on your device, fulfilling the promise of a true zero-trust workflow. And that leaves us with one final, and I think pretty provocative question. It's the ultimate test for any tool out there that claims to protect your privacy. If you can't use it with the internet turned off, you just have to ask yourself, Where's your sensitive data really going?